All right, this video is going to go over 16.1a notes, which is evaluating log. We already kind of saw how to evaluate log. This is just kind of putting more pieces to the puzzle. So when I say evaluate, look at this right here. Log base 5 of 25. When you evaluate a log, you need to imagine that it equals x, and then you need to snail it and take it to exponential form. And then you need to get the bases of the exponential the same, because if you can get the bases the same, then you can just set the exponents equal to each other. So like this log base 525 has a value of 2. So that's what I mean when I say evaluate logs, all right? And if you know that 5 to the 2 is 25, then you don't have to take it this far, but if you don't know that, then make it into an exponential problem. All right, so log base 5 of 25 is 2. Log base 3 of 27 would be 3 to the x makes 27. Well, that's 3. And then you just have 2 plus 3, which is 5. So that's all you have to do on these. So this next one, this would be 4 to what power is 1 over 16. Now the fraction ones are a little tricky. Basically, this 16 right here, you could call 4 squared. So it's like 4 to the x equals 1 over 4 squared. Well, to get it to base 4, right now it's base 1/4. To get it to base 4, you have to bring it to the top, which makes it 4 to the negative 2. So when you evaluate it, it's negative 2. So this whole thing right here is negative 2. All right. When you evaluate this log base 6 of 6, you go 6 to the x equals 6. Well, that's just 1. So far we have negative 2 plus 1. And then the last piece is, if you snail it, 5 to what power makes 125? Well, that's 3. So we end up with negative 2 plus 1 minus 3. That's negative 4. Okay. This next one. Ignore the 2 in front of that log. Evaluate just this log base 2 of 32. That's 2 to the x equals 32. Well, 32 is 2 to the 5. So this becomes 5, all right? Now you can handle this 2. It's like 2 times that 5. You evaluate it first, then apply the 2. So this whole guy, we do it in blue, this whole thing is 10. And then log base 381, that's 3 to what power makes 81. 81 is 3 to the 4th. So this is 4. So you have 10 plus 4, which is 14. Okay, so same thing here. Ignore the 3 in the front. Just do this part first. 5 to what power makes 1 over 25? Well, this right here is 5 squared. And then to bring it to the top, you have to make it negative. So you end up with 5 to the x equals 5 to the negative 2. So this guy's negative 2. Now you can apply the 3 that was in front. So it's like 3 times negative 2, which is negative 6. And then ignore the minus and the 5. Ignore all this. Just go evaluate log base 4 of 64. That's 4 to the what power makes 64? Well, 64 is 4 cubed, so this part becomes 3. Now we can handle the 5 right here. It's like 5 times 3, which is going to make 15. And there was a minus in the middle here. So it's like negative 6 minus 15, which is negative 21. Okay, now we get into some divide. You treat them the same way. Evaluate the top by itself. So it's like 9 to what power makes 81? Well, that's 2 over. And then evaluate the bottom. That's like 7 to what power makes 7 to the 1? Well, that's just 1. So you end up with 2 over 1, which is just 2. Okay, this next one, we're doing the top part first. Ignore the 6. So it's like 2 to what power makes 8? Well, 8 is 2 cubed, so that's 3. But then you have to apply that times 6 that we said to ignore. So it's really like 6 times 3, which is 18. All right, and then the bottom's like 12 to the x makes 144. Well, 12 squared is 144. So that's just 2. So 18 over 2 is what you end up with, which is 9. Okay, this next one. Ignore the 1/2. Do log base 3 of 9. That's 3 to what power makes 9? Well, that's squared, so 2. Now we can apply I erased too much. Now we can apply this 1/2. So it's like 1/2 times 2, which is 1. All right, ignore the minus, ignore the 4. So you end up with log of 1 over 100. When there's no base there, it's a 10. So really this is like 10 to the x equals 1 over 100. Well, 100 is 10 squared. And then to bring it to the top, you have to make it negative. So you end up with 10 to the x equals 10 to the negative 2. So this guy becomes negative 2. Now I can apply the 4. So it's like 4 times negative 2, which is negative 8. But now's when you really need to be careful with your minus sign. It was minus in the middle there. So it's like 1 minus negative 8. When you have minus negative, it turns into a plus. So it's really like 1 plus 8, which is 9. Really need to watch your negatives there. All right, and then these last ones we have to solve. So this isn't that bad either. Basically, evaluate this first part. You would get 6 to the x equals 36. So that part is 2. And then evaluate the second part. That's 2 to the x equals 16. Well, 16 is 2 to the 4th, so that's 4. So you end up with 2 plus 4 equals 3x. Now you can just go solve it. 6 equals 3x. Divide by 3. X equals 2. And now this last one's kind of challenging. Ignore the 4 at the front. So you end up with 6 to what power is 1 over 216. Well, 216 is 6 cubed. And then to bring it to the top, you have to make it negative. So you get 6 to the x equals 6 to the negative 3. So it's just negative 3 here for this part. Now we can apply the 4. So you get negative 12 for this first part. That's this whole section here. All right, it's a minus in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and mark the minus so I don't forget it. All right, now evaluate the second guy. You get 3 to the x equals 27. Well, 27 is 3 cubed, so this part you just get 3. And then this all equals 5x. Now just go solve. Negative 15 equals 5x. X equals 3. Sorry, negative 3. So that's all there is to it. Just break them down one at a time and get a value for it. If there was a number in front, then you apply that number and then either multiply it or divide it or add it or subtract it, whatever they're wanting you to do. Or if they want you to solve, go solve. So hope this video helped.